Hi, I'm Tony and welcome to Southern Sustenance. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to prune and shape mature fruit trees. So, winter pruning, why do we do it? So this is more for restorative growth as opposed to for fruit. You do this in winter when the leaves fall off, and in Adelaide and climates like this, so cities like Perth, possibly even Melbourne, you do it in June. So I did this a few weeks ago and I'm going to show you how I actually went about doing it and what's involved with it all. So there's a few different tools that you want to use. You know, your secateurs, your loppers, your chainsaws, and as you go about removing major limbs, you go using the bigger tools or the smaller tools. You don't want to be mucking around trying to cut everything by secateurs, you know, and I'll show you what I've done to this plum tree. So you want to keep in mind when you prune different shapes that trees have. So there's three major groups that you could put these into. You've got leader based, so where there's one or multi-leader trees. So think about your pomegranate, your quince, your pear, anything that really grows upright, you want to train to that leader based system. If it's got big fruits and you want them to develop a lot of sugar and get a lot of light on them, a lot of air, that's where you move to an open vase shape, and that's what I've done with these plums. Also, you've got trellis and fan shapes, so that's good where you've got things up against fences or against wires. So I use that for the grapes here. So they're your different types, but like I said in the beginning, it's restorative pruning in winter. So what I've actually done is adopt the 3Ds, so dead, disease, damage. If you have branches that meet any of those, cut them off. And when you do pruning of major limbs, you want to cut off at the junction. So let me show you. So this branch was very vigorous, and damaged. That's where I cut it off. You want to try to slope it so that rain comes off, like more so like those bottom ones there, but that's how you do it. So that's dead, disease, damage. If you're pruning to an open vase like this plum tree is, you want to take out anything that's central and anything that rubs. Rubbing, think of trees as humans. Rubbing causes wounds. Those wounds can get infected for trees. That's fungus infections, and that's where they have a lot of sap starts coming out. That's no good. So what I've actually done, as you may have seen, these cuts that I've made, I've actually painted it with a bitumenized paint that seals the wound. If you know that you're going to have rain in the next few days after cutting, then that's where you want to actually put the paint on, seals it. You don't really, there's not an issue when it's in summer because it just dries out, but I like doing it in winter, keeps the rain out, again reducing the level of fungus. So that's open vase. With this plum tree, I'm aiming to take out one major limb per year. That sort of, for me, that reduces its vigor a bit, but if I really wanted to control its vigor, I'd be doing that in summer. So some grapevines, well, actually these look better. So the way to prune these against the trellis system is you've got your wires, and then think of it as arms. You want to leave 2 arms at the top and 2 arms in the torso if it's that vigorous, and at each of these nodes, that's where grapes can form. So you don't want to damage them when you twine them around a wire. So when they're vigorous like that, you can let them go very big. And for me, you know, you haven't seen it, but this gets pretty huge in summer, and you cut it right back to the strongest 2, 3, 4 arms that you can. So this persimmon, this is, I suppose, a mix between like a vase and a leader. I'm just trying to push the growth up Previously had a lot of branches at the bottom, and I've been working on that to reduce it down. The plan is with this is to also graft on a different variety. We'll be talking about grafting in the next couple of videos because that happens late July and in August. But I have already done some grafting. Apples. So obviously open vase shape. I have grafted on a different variety in the middle. Not so much because I want a different variety of apple, but it helps with pollinating the rest of the Granny Smith. Before that I didn't get a lot of fruit, so this has helped a lot. So just a short video, but yeah, hopefully that's given you a few ideas. The other thing to keep in mind is you don't want to cut off more than 30% of the growth of a tree. If you do, and I've done it to this plum, I know it's very vigorous, there's a tendency to cause a lot of growth when it comes springtime, so you want to limit it to 30%. The other thing to also keep in mind is as you switch between pruning different tree species, you want to make sure that you clean the blades of your tools. So you know, just a bit of metho, clean it with a cloth, and that prevents any diseases transferring. This is pretty important when you're working with trees such as stone fruits, your nectarines, your peaches. They have a lot of fungal issues generally, you know, your curly peach leaf, and you know, you want to be reducing those sort of diseases. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it, got something out of this, and I'll see you next time.